This is a TLDR tier list for next week's Mutation. This is based on solo play because your ally is a random factor that cannot be accounted for. Also, this is based on above average co-op knowledge. Mechanical skill is not that important in co-op. Adjust these rankings based on your own knowledge and skill level. Alright, so we'll start with Carax. Carax is in D because only I and one other player have ever cleared this. One was using P2 and I used P1. It required a very specific strategy that's pretty hard to execute. And if you don't do it right, you won't be able to clear in time. And if the enemy is like anything except the specific comp, I think it was Siege of Storms, they'll deal too much damage to your static structures and then you get wrecked. So not very good for this one. Stetman is A. He's not S because he actually doesn't clear that fast. Super Gary cannot be in two places at once, and you have to defend the middle against attack waves and then try to clear the sides. So he actually takes a while to clear because of that. The good thing is that because he's Zerg, he can survive a super long time. Just keep building Lings and Evolution Chambers. You should be able to clear by the 14-minute, the second Thrasher. Abathur is A. So Abathur clears super fast against any race, and by the time the second wave gets killed, you should be able to get the first Brutalist and start wrecking face. He's not S because it takes a little bit longer to clear if you're fighting against air units. The air units will slow you down a bit. Zeratul is S. My clear was in like 9 minutes, but I've seen a run where you can actually clear by like 8:30. So you can clear before the side waves come. And against other races, it doesn't really matter because the Legion will hold the center and then Zeratul P3 spin to win the other sides. Also, the Zeratul's passive allows him to just blink away, and when he's invincible, the kill bots will kind of ignore him and go towards your base, which means that he doesn't have to hide. Like his clearing isn't stopped because once he's invincible or invulnerable for that one shot, the kill bot will turn away and go towards your base and you can continue clearing. So you don't have to like teleport home and then go back, or you don't have to worry about the kill bot killing your unit and then like slowing down the clearing process. Observers are also really cheap. Swann. Only I and one other player, I believe, have done this. It required a very specific strategy where you have to teleport Hercs and then like pulse cannon the enemies. The enemy comp also cannot be too strong or else they'll just wreck your structures. Even after full clearing, if there are like immortals that spawn right on top of your stuff with inspiration, they might just completely wreck all your structures. So enemy comp has to be like a very specific one that doesn't kill your static defenses when you're spawn camping. Clearing the map, the 3 lanes, is also very difficult if it's not Protoss. Dehaka is pretty good because he can hold one lane. P0 or P3 can hold the southwest. Glevik will clear the southwest, Mervar will clear one of the sides, and then Dockrun will get a head start on one of the sides, and Glevik can finish it off again. Dehaka and Swayhaka, if you use the P3, can hold off the enemies for quite a long time. So you can just make Lings and maybe some Primal Hosts to fight off the enemies. I used P2 for this one, but I don't think P2 is good because you want map presence in different areas. Rayner is C because his Hyperion plus Duskwings clear really fast, but only against Protoss. If you're fighting against non-Protoss, the clearing will be a lot slower. And if you're not fighting against Protoss ground, your defenses, your spider mines, they won't be able to clear the entire waves. So even after you clear the buildings, you still have to deal with inspiration and enemies with lots of armor. So bio isn't going to work that well. So you have to be good at vulture, spider mine, spawn camping. But if there are air units, then that will be a problem as well. So you need to get Vikings. Stukov may be controversial, but he's not S because not the killbots, it's the inspiration. +5 armor hybrids will completely wreck you if they shoot really fast. If they're Marines with +5 armor, your guys are not dealing any damage. You might not get killed by killbots, but inspiration plus quick like Hydralisks or Marines will just completely wreck your face. AoE will also wreck your face. So enemy comp matters here a little. The good thing is that if you get to survive, if you survive long enough, you will eventually full clear and you will eventually overwhelm the enemies. But he doesn't clear very fast and he is weak to inspiration. Nova, I thought about putting Nova in D, but I think as long as you're fighting Protoss and pattern B, you should be fine. Because what I did was I used a nuke at 9 minutes to nuke a double wave, which spawns at the same side. And then you finish the clearing that way. So yeah, if it's not against Protoss, I think you'll have a harder time clearing the structures. And if you're fighting against pattern A, the enemies will spawn on both sides, which may slow down your clearing as well. So yeah, needs to be a specific comp. Han and Horner, man, clearing is hard enough. So like I used Colin the Fleet with max mastery so that it clears an entire area, but I don't think it would clear an entire area if it was Protoss or maybe Terran, because Terran has like Marines and stuff in the bunkers, which wastes shots. Also, after you full clear, you still have to deal with inspiration, and Han and Horner, like Rayner, isn't really that good against inspiration. So you have to be really on top of your magmine usage and your strike fighters to minimize losses. It's really hard to do. So if the enemy comp isn't the right one, and if your strategy, your clearing speed is not on par, you're just gonna die. Alarak, I would have put Alarak in S, but the problem with Alarak is that there are some comps that mass destroyers suck against. So his clearing speed is top notch. He clears super fast, doesn't matter which enemy comp, because Alarak will hold the southwest with a pylon. Mothership will go around the side while you feed with probes. He can clear pretty fast no matter what. His issue is that later on, you need destroyers to help you clear, but if that's all you got in the mid game, they might die to like AoE or Vipers or something like that. So enemy comp matters a little bit. Mengsk, I put him in B because the race matters. So with bunkers, the enemies really won't destroy you because you can just hide, you arm your troopers in there, you can feed for quite a while. But clearing, when I cleared, I used Dogs of War against Protoss. If the enemy is Zerg, they have too many Sunkens and stuff. If it's Terran, they might have too much DPS, whereas photon cannons are weak. And ESOs, if you're using those to clear, are way too slow, so you have to arm troopers to attack. And that may result in losses because you have to move forward to fight. And killbots might spawn in your face while you're trying to do that. So if the enemy isn't Protoss, you may have a lot more difficult time clearing. Artanis, he clears super fast. So if you watch my run, you'll see that he clears the fastest of everyone. However, he is not good at defending the middle. So if you're fighting against like a Zerg comp, you're just dead because you need like Dragoons to hold the middle. But if you need to also get like spin for Zealots just to survive, you're kind of dead. You can't afford to burn Unbound Fanatics on Lings. And so like you have to pretty much fight Dominion Battle Group or like maybe Siege of Storms in order to survive. Otherwise, the enemy comps will be too strong for you. Zagara, of course, is S. She's the fastest at clearing. She can feed the bots for a long time, so you don't have to worry at all. After all the buildings are gone, you just spawn camp, so you can put banelings if you want. You can even like aim bio launchers right at the spawn points. Kerrigan. I thought about putting Kerrigan in A, but I'm going to put her in B because she is going to be a lot slower against an air comp. That includes pattern B air hybrids. So similar to Stepman, she cannot really be in two places at once. She does have Omegas, but like if a killbot comes by, you have to move your units, or like you lose an Omega, or you have to feed Lings. And if it happens that the enemy wave is also there, then you're going to keep getting shot and stuff. So yeah, if you're fighting air enemies, you'll take a long time to get rid of them. You won't be able to get Hydras in time. Spore crawlers aren't really good at stopping them. And if you're using P3, your mobility will be limited because you can't jump or slide to get around faster. So really need to fight against a ground comp. The good thing is that feeding is good, so you can survive for a long time. Tychus. Tychus is very good at clearing. The thing about him is like if a killbot spawns in his face, you can just pick him up or whatever outlaw with a medevac and then drop him back and continue clearing. So clearing is pretty consistent no matter what enemy you're fighting. And Tychus holds one lane, Sam or Sirius will like take care of the others. And you should be able to clear before the key time of 10:48. So you have a nuke at 10 minutes, you should be able to clear an entire area by then. You may have to feed a lot of SCVs more than usual, but he can survive against most enemy comps pretty easily without a lot of help. Vorazun is not that good because you have to fight against Terran ground. If you fight against air, any air comp, you don't really have money to get Stargates and DTs. And then you need to spend your shadow guards and time stop shadow guards you need to use those for clearing, which means that if there are air units attacking you, you have to like camp behind some photon cannons and hopefully those deal enough damage. If you're fighting against non-Terran, they will attack you with detectors and your Dark Pylon wall won't be able to hold, which means that you'll actually need to get units. You have less money because you're feeding killbots, and then you have to make an army to defend against the enemies. Whereas against a Terran, you can just kind of wall them off and forget about them. Phoenix goes in A because he clears super fast. His problem is similar to Kerrigan's, which is against air units. So air units won't hamper him completely, but they will slow him down quite a bit. If you're fighting against a ground comp, you can clear whatever really fast, but against an air comp, you'll be slightly slower. That's it for this tier list. You can extrapolate this info to your duel runs. Good luck with the mutation.